Hello, 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 and welcome to day 11 of our Money Fear is Real and How to Change It series. How are you guys feeling after yesterday's session? That was all about breathing in the money and breathing out obstacles. It was really a good one. So if you haven't seen that one, please go back and listen to that. I know you're going to love it. Today we're going to talk about recalibrating your money heart set so that you can heal your heart to fall in love with money. And the heart set is one of the three pillars that are the sources of your money blocks. It's the mindset, heart set, and body set. So today we're going to talk about the heart set and what does that mean and how does that affect my money, you might be asking. Well, the heart set is referring to stuck emotions. So some of the top stuck emotions regarding money is fear, aka the whole point of this series is about fear and alleviating it, and sadness. Also, anger does come in as well with money. And there can be other ones too. There can be shame, blame, guilt, hurt, things like that can be at play also. But those are the top big ones, the biggest ones, fear and sadness. And anger actually is a mask for sadness. So we're just going to go right to sadness for our discussion purposes today. So sadness can be many things, but the commonality of the sadness is that we're sad about losing something. So it could be a real loss or a perceived loss or a projected loss. So for example, we can be sad when we lose someone, when someone dies. Boy, that's a big sadness. That's probably one of the biggest sadnesses. We can be sad about losing a job. We can be sad about not getting something that we wanted. There's one of those projection ones. We wanted something and we didn't get it. That's a loss. Or we think we should have something and we didn't get it. That's a loss. Or we're projecting that we will lose something, but we haven't lost it yet. That one is so relevant to today and what's happening with our situation with the COVID virus. You know, it's some hard times for people with them, with the uncertainty of making money. Many of us are not working or working less hours. So it's very, very real. And then fear. Well, fear is about being afraid of something. And we've talked in this series about the amygdala, which is the reptilian part of our brain that puts us into a fearful state, activating our sympathetic nervous system because it believes that we're in danger. So fear means that we're in danger. And when we're in danger, the biggest fear of all is the fear of death. Hi, Sharon, and welcome. So whatever fear you have, like maybe you have a fear of not having enough money. Well, if you follow that down the rabbit hole, that's going to end up at you're afraid you're going to die. Might not be the first thing on your conscious mind, but it is in fact very, very present with your unconscious mind, because every fear, that's what thinks. Fear of a snake. Well, you work that down the rabbit hole. I get bit by the snake. I'm going to have some pain. I'm going to die from the snake. Fear of heights. I'm going to fall when I die. Just giving you some examples. So for the heart set, we have the stuck emotions we just went through, fear and sadness being the top two, with anger being a close third. Also, what's important about the heart set is connection to other people. So often we become disconnected from other people. We go into being disconnected because we think we need to do things by ourselves. Maybe we feel like we are not worthy. Maybe we feel like we're not good enough. Or maybe we just convince ourselves that we're too busy to be in connection with other people. But we are designed and wired to be in connection with other people. That's how we get to be our best selves. That's how we get to be our most authentic self. And that, by the way, is also how we have the most joy and pleasure in life, as well as the most ease and grace. Because when we are connected, then we also get to be in community, which is the third aspect of the HEARTSET. And being in community is vital, because when we have that support system with us in the community, then we really can do and be our true selves. And we can have the impact and make the difference that we're meant to have in community. Because if you think about it, you have that giving and receiving within a community. You have the sharing of the resources. You have the atta-girls or the atta-boys. But then when things are challenging, you also have that support and that, hey, I got your back kind of a feeling. It's just so much easier and more rewarding to live your life in community, as well as being able to reach your potential and have the impact on others. Because most of us, we're here to serve, and we are doing that by helping other people. So we need to first put our oxygen mask on. Because if we're not taking care of ourselves, how can we take care of others? We really can't do that for any sustainable length of time. So you need to be able to put your oxygen mask on. But guess what? That oxygen mask doesn't breathe itself. You still have to breathe. There's something that you need to do. And when you get familiar with that, yeah, I do need to take care of myself, take care of my needs. Then you can truly be able to share your gifts with other people and really help and contribute in such a bigger, different way than you've been able to in the past. And when we have these stuck emotions, it's really like a ball and chain, also like a straitjacket in as another metaphor for us, because we're in the fight-flight system. We're trapped in it. Because our amygdala has told us that we are in danger, so it activates our production of adrenaline and cortisol. So it's as if we're all charged up. Like you put your finger with some scissors in a light socket and you're like, zzz, you're buzzing, because you have this adrenaline and cortisol flowing through your body to prepare you to fight or flee. And this comes from back in the caveman days when being chased by a saber-toothed tiger. You really want to have some energy to get away from that. So either fighting or fleeing. But what we commonly do actually is the third response, and that is freezing. So if you've ever seen an animal in the wild, this is a great demonstration of the freeze response. So if it doesn't believe that it can get away, or it can't get away, if it's trapped, it will freeze. And when it's frozen, hopefully become unappealing to its predator. Then, assuming it survives and the predator leaves, the animal will actually start to shake. And as it shakes, it's literally resetting the body back to the parasympathetic state of the nervous system, which is the rest and digest state. So it's shaking the adrenaline and cortisol out as it floods the body with dopamine and serotonin, as well as a whole bunch of other cascade of effects that are happening in the body, like the musculoskeletal system gets tight, and that includes our fascial system. Our eyes, our pupils get dilated because we're looking around to see where the danger is. Other bodily functions either get turned off or turned down because you don't need to ovulate and you don't need to digest when you're being chased by a saber-toothed tiger. So that's a little bit of a review for some of us, but I saw some new people, so I wanted to make sure and catch them up with where we are. So mindset, heart set, and body set are the three sources of the programming that creates our money blocks, that then drives our behavior, which ultimately determines our results and our success in life and in business. So they are intertwined. So HEARTSET, I want to do a check-in here. So is everybody ready for a check-in? And does anybody have any questions? If you have any questions, feel free to put those in the comments. I love to answer questions. Or if you have something you want to share, please add a hashtag gold for gold nugget. And then after that, write your share, your aha, your realization, whatever that might be for you. And so let's go into just getting in touch with, we're going to start with our heart. So you can be sitting or you can be lying down, and notice, you can close your eyes. If you're driving, you're going to need to do this later, so please stay away from doing this now. But as you're driving, as you're sitting comfortably and safely, or you can lie down, I want you to close your eyes and just check in with your heart and notice what's happening. You're just observing without trying to change it. You just want to observe it. And as you're observing it, what do you see? What do you hear? What do you feel? What do you say to yourself? What are some of the stories that you might be telling yourself about your heart, about your emotions or your connection, your relationships with other people, your relationship with money, for example? That is another form of a relationship. Just listen. Yeah, good. Then just notice if is there something there that is not serving you anymore. If there's something that's not serving you, ask your unconscious mind, is it okay to let that go now? And then ask your conscious mind if it's okay with having the positive realizations of having released that. And that would be a yes too. So in order to do this exercise, you need to have yeses on both of those answers. If you haven't gotten a yes, that means something else would need to be done first to clear away some of the boulders so that we can get to this piece. So how's everybody doing so far? Feel free to add a comment for me, for all of us actually, not just for me. Good. And ask your heart, because we're focusing on the heart today, ask your heart what it has to say. And then just listen. It might have a whole story to tell you. It might tell you that it has some needs that need to be met. It might say, I'm fine. It might say, I'm good. Things are great over here. It might say, oh, I've been really holding on to this, or I've been holding on to that. Just listen. Really listen with the intent to connect with it. And then ask your heart to share with you what it sees. There may or may not be a visual. Some people are not visual. Some people are not some of the other senses. So if nothing comes up for you, it's okay. Just hang out there for a bit. We'll circle back. But there might be a vision that comes up for you. It might be an impression in your mind. It might be a memory. It could be any number of things that could come up for you. Good. And then notice, what are you hearing? Is there any sounds? Anything like music or nature sounds or no sound? whatever the sound is, just notice it. And then we'll go to, what is the feeling? Is there an emotion? Is there some other type of a feeling, a sensation? Could be anything. It could be a, like warm and fuzzy. It could be, oh, here comes Shannon. Welcome, Shannon. Could be anything. What is it that it's feeling now? Or what are you feeling in the heart area is really more the question. And then our final question is, what are you saying to yourself about your heart? Good. So now that we've gone through all of the senses, just observing them. We're just asking questions, we're inquiring, we're getting some feedback, we're getting some observations. Is there something there that is no longer serving you in all those observations? Just ask your unconscious mind that question. And if there is, and if your unconscious mind says, yes, it's okay to clear that now, and then your conscious mind answers yes to, is it okay for your conscious mind to have all the positive realizations of having done so, then we're going to go ahead and clear now. Are you ready? Good. We're going to do something called a spin technique. So imagine that it's spinning this area of the heart. It's the whatever aspect of stuckness you have. It's not the heart itself. The heart's going to stay. It's these the stories, the feelings, whatever it is that no longer serves you, that you have gotten confirmation is ready to go. That's what we're spinning. So spin that with your mind, and as you're spinning, imagine that it's getting stronger and stronger and stronger and faster and faster and faster, and you're building up momentum. And as that momentum builds up, it starts to kind of spin itself and go fast like a snowball. It gets bigger and faster and stronger, and it gets sucked out of your body. And when it gets sucked out of your body, that's when you imagine that it is just skyrocketed, however you want to send it, out into the atmosphere. And it will disintegrate. And then we're going to come back to noticing again this heart area where we were noticing before, and notice how it's different now. I want you to take a few moments to really observe. Maybe it's a different feeling. Maybe it's a different size or color or shape, or maybe it's it feels like it's happier. It could be anything. So just notice. Good. Good. And most people at this point are feeling like there's a vacancy. What was used to be there is gone. So that familiarity, whether it was serving you or not serving you, it was familiar, and now it's gone. So what would you like to replace that with? It could be anything. It could be, some things I like to replace it with are happiness and joy and love and peace, tranquility, could be energy, could be openness, connection, whatever it is for you. Just imagine that that is coming in. It's as if you turned the water faucet on and it's all pouring in. And it's filling you up as much as you need to fill up. And you just keep going until you feel full and you feel fulfilled. And you'll get an indication in your conscious mind, yes, okay, that's it. That's exactly what I needed. So when you get there, please let me know. You can push the heart sign or the thumbs up button so I can see where we are. I want to make sure everybody's getting this. Good. Wonderful. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go out into the future. Hi, Carmela. And just imagine that you floated out into the future. And notice now 3 things that are different for you. 3 things that are different in your life. It could be anything. It could be situations, it could be feelings, it could be thoughts, it could be people, it could be where you live, anything. 3 things that are different for the better in your life now that you've cleared out these things that are no longer serving you. Good. And then come back to now, after you've got your 3. Good. And I'd love to hear from you guys. Please share one of the things that is different in your life now that you've cleared those things that no longer serve you in your heart space, in your heart set. And we have a question. Why is it hard to let go of that which no longer serves me? Well, it can be any number of reasons. One of the main reasons is what's called secondary gain. And that is that you are getting some benefit from holding on to it, whatever that might be. It's usually not the most obvious reason. It could be that it's keeping you stuck, or it's keeping you in pain, or keeping you in a familiar pattern so that you don't need to go into the unknown and the scariness of the future. Or if a person feels like that's part of their identity, then it feels like they're giving up part of their true self, when in fact they're really not, but that's what they can believe. So that would mean that there's just some more work to be done there to be able to release that, Debbie. That's a great question. Yeah. So to recap about the heart space. So heart space is also about being able to receive. So when we have some false beliefs or limiting decisions about receiving, that can really muck us up. We can get into these cycles of overgiving, and overgiving to the point of self-sacrifice, which is not good. So the metaphor I like to use is somebody is eating crackers and water, and they say, oh, this is enough for me, I'm fine, I'm sustaining myself, and I've given away my steak and I've given away my vegetables to other people who need it more than me. But if you don't take care of yourself first and put your oxygen mask on first, you will, first of all, not be able to survive very long, because without breath, you've got about 2 minutes max. But your quality of life is not that good either. And we're all meant for bigger things than that. We're all meant to have contributions to others and to have a comfortable life. So by putting your oxygen mask on first and then doing the breathing, because the mask does not breathe itself, you must still breathe, put that on, then you can have the things that you want in life. You can have the great quality of life. You can have the money that is just a vehicle to get you to where you want to go, to serve your purpose, to serve other people, to have some nice things, to have some fun in life, to have some rest and relaxation, to not be living in the fight-flight response of the sympathetic nervous system all the time. It's actually how we were born. Our natural state is the rest and digest phase of parasympathetic nervous system, which is, you feel pretty good. You know that when you've heard about the runner's high, where they just feel like they're in the zone and they're like, oh, things feel good. You literally almost feel like you're high. That is your natural state. And that's what we're trying to get ourselves back to. And from that state of clarity, that state of power, that state of confidence, wow, anything is possible. And that's when you can really take your power back and be who you're supposed to be and do what you're supposed to do and be in connection with other people. So that's our lesson for today. Does anybody have any other questions or ahas? Anybody want to put a hashtag gold for a gold nugget? Something that you realized or experienced today that was helpful for you? And if you missed the first part, you can certainly go back and re-listen to it. It's there on Facebook for us. And then tomorrow, we're going to go into another aspect of recalibrating your money heart set. This is going to be really good. It's going to be about opening the heart. So today was more about healing and clearing the heart. We're going to do more opening of the heart. So I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Same bat time, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'll be here. Take care. Thank you.